So it seems that the stars have aligned so that I can finally get this done. Because on one hand, I'm just about done editing all the Pokemon XG I currently have recorded, and I need to record some more. But on the other hand, I just had a huge Game & Chill recording session yesterday. So I also kind of don't want to give myself too much to do in terms of editing, because that hour and a half recording session is going to take a while to go through and, well, edit. So I figured it was a perfect opportunity to finally get the voiceover for this done, so I can say that I showed off every single one of these Colosseums. Excluding post-game stuff, because, my god, I've never even bothered to beat Ori Colosseum. In the vanilla game, I can only imagine how much of a nightmare it would be to do in something like this. I don't know if that's spoilers, it's out there now, so let's just pretend it's not. Just like we're gonna pretend we saw nothing there. Safe to say, I am not promising Ori Colosseum whatsoever. If I'm feeling ambitious enough after the campaign is done, maybe I'll try it once. But I can almost guarantee that we're not going to be going through all of it. So this might be the last time we hang out and chat in a random Colosseum. In fact, in general, the only time I can think of that we're going to just casually chat and post commentary is the final battle bingo board, depending on how I'm going to record it. Speaking of recording sessions, I did a whole bunch of City Arcs and was just about to step away to do a little more Mount Battle to level the Purify team up a little bit. So this might be a good time for me to go sit down and record Battle Bingo sometime. Probably not today, but it's a high probability the next time I sit down to do an XG recording session. So I guess there'll be that too. The problem is, what do I talk about to kill less than 20 minutes of commentary? I don't even... It's even less than that, considering how much time I spent on the intro. I was actually going to get into some more public domain talk, but nothing's really coming to mind. There hasn't been any huge, big public domain news, and considering, stuff only really goes into the public domain every year, there probably won't be anything more exciting to talk about until the year is over and we reach our way into 2025. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff with the Mickey Mouse, from what I've seen, kind of just died with the hype. There was this one Steamboat Willie game that I was following that actually came out on Steam not too long ago. I unfortunately didn't have a chance to play it because it's a weird, awkward situation where the game, I only realized more recently that the game runs mostly on mouse. And considering I typically don't really play Steam games on anything beside my Steam Deck these days, it looks like a small, simple game, so it probably wouldn't be an issue for me to run on my computer. But I prefer to keep it on my Steam Deck in order to not run issues with space on my computer itself. Especially as of late, where it feels like the hard drive that I mainly use is so full. And I cannot figure out what's taking up space on it, but that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, beyond that stupid horror stuff that people wanted to do with Mickey and those particular smaller games, the hype to do stuff with public domain Mickey kind of died out early on in the year, which is a bit of a shame. Now that I'm thinking about it though, it's just kind of nice to look back and think, wow, I can legally watch Steamboat Willie wherever I want, whenever I want, on whatever I want, uploaded by whoever they want. It was such a surreal feeling to have when it was new. And apparently because YouTube's copyright system sucks so bad, even though it was in the public domain for a short period of time, people were still getting copyright struck in Steamboat Willie in 2024. I'm pretty sure all of that's been cleared up at this point, but if you ever want a testament of just how bad the YouTube copyright system could be from time to time, There you go. That's a perfect example. I don't want to be too hard on it because I do not envy the person that runs all that crud. Even if 99% of it is run by robots. Yeah, it just seems like such a mess to sort out what is free for people to use, what is being stolen, and what is being fairly used. I'm glad that's not my job at the very least. And I guess that kind of leaves a bit of a segue into something else I wanted to go into. Like, what the heck do things like TikTok and YouTube Shorts work? Because on one hand, you upload something and it seems like you can just use any copyrighted music that you want, and those platforms even push you to use suspiciously copyrighted music. And for that it's fine, but if I upload a video that's not fine, it's really weird. And I'll admit, I'm kind of a little salty because I have a sneaking suspicion that I was shadow banned from TikTok because there was a couple photo montages that way back, months if not years ago when I first uploaded them, the music was fine, but sometime recently they stopped being fine. TikTok never notified me that those copyright issues were a thing, so I only stumbled into them when I was scrolling back and looking for my old uploads and go, I wonder why these have a big exclamation point on top of them. And then I open it up and it's like, the music in these videos were removed for copyright reasons. And you see, hey, they took care of it for me. They got rid of the music that was problematic. So why was I shadow banned? Allegedly. Because it's like a shadow ban, they can't really prove, no one can really prove that it was shadow banned from TikTok. But I got an aching suspicion when I look back, and everything I uploaded for a 2-week time period, if not more, got like 2 views. There's actually a good handful of videos that had 100% 0 views on them, despite being up on the platform for weeks. And that's just like a crying shame, because one of those things was the Legend ZA upload that I had. I'm not too upset over it because it did. The ZA stuff has been doing amazingly well over on YouTube, and that's honestly probably the platform I should care more about. For reasons I'd rather not get into, but will say it might be for the best if I try leaning myself away from TikTok more and more, because who knows what the future of that platform has in store, at least in the countries that I use it in. But that's a big, huge tangent to say, man, why is it fine for those cases, but then it's not? And like, if it's such a big risk to use that stuff in the first place, why you make it so accessible and practically encourage people to use it? Like, recommended music I was getting for my photo montages, like, I always get an auto recommendation for music to use, and oftentimes it's crummy pop music that doesn't really fit the vibe of the outdoor nature videos with Pokemon inserted into them that I'm uploading. And I really have to go out of my way sometimes to actually find nature ambience. I guess thinking more about that's more an issue with YouTube Shorts rather than TikTok, because with the ticking clock site, often when I think more about it, I do actually just get real nice ambient music that's a background and naturist and fits the theme in general. I guess I was thinking of what's popular and what's trending, and like when you're looking for the stuff that most people are actually using as background music for their short videos on those sites, that's where it all comes down to, like, the pop music that feels like copyright, a complete copyright nightmare to try to fiddle your way around. Every now and then I see a song that I think would work well with the video that would be kind of fun and a nice change of pace. but I'm always scared to use it because, like, this definitely seems like copyrighted music. Why is it being recommended for me to use in the video in the first place? It's like you're trying to get me in trouble. I don't know. That's one thing I'm gonna miss about that clock site. It's kind of fun to actually get to mess around with background music that normally would be impossible to use on YouTube. Okay, that's a half lie. The main reason I care about the clock site is because I love their photo montage feature. YouTube doesn't have anything like that, and with how many AR photos I take in Pokemon Go, it just works out perfectly for sharing that sort of thing. Even better than photo sharing sites, in my opinion. Which feels weird, and is probably objectively wrong, but subjectively, it's just a fun vibe to make a photo montage and have a platform that actively encourages it. You can't even upload images to YouTube, and even if you could, and I'm working on trying to find ways to bring that stuff over to YouTube, just in case something happens to the other site. It's just not the same. Yeah, it's just not the same. A big thing is just like with the photo montages on the other site, you can swap through it. Like you see a photo, you swipe. You see a photo when you're done looking at it, you swipe again. All while the music is playing in the background. Meanwhile on YouTube, I pretty much just have to edit the photos into a video. And I guess what I'm getting at is YouTube already stole a lot from it, like the short concept. If there's anything that they can steal from the clock site, nab the photo feature. Something tells me that the YouTube people would hate it, but like, if it's just optional on the side and not getting in the way of the algorithm for other people, then I would have no complaints with that sort of thing coming over and being a possible YouTube short kind of thing. Because I do a lot with the Pokemon Go pictures. Maybe not. I kind of have phases where I'm interested in just lining up my Pokemon for fun photos and times where I just want to walk and not even bother. Sometimes for months at a time. But it all balances out to be frequent enough that it would be a fun thing to bring over here. And as I become less and less inclined to be on social media, it becomes harder and harder for me to find a platform to share that stuff on that I'm comfortable with. I'm basically down to Tumblr and Blue Sky, where Twitter exists only when I have to use it, and everything else even more so. Because, like, Instagram's a thing, and I used to like it, and I still have it installed to check on every now and then. But I'm really not a fan of Meta, and if I could avoid interacting on that platform, I will. And I don't know, there's just something about, like, the cropping and all the steps you take just to share the photos in the first place, and how hard it is to share anything besides photos and videos. The latter, which I don't care a hoot about. If I want to upload reels, as the site calls them, I would just make it into a YouTube short and upload it onto this site where I'm doing videos anyways. And honestly, I kind of get the feeling that this platform, this site, is probably where I have the most presence out of any platform. Like, and that's always been a reason why I'm kind of more lenient towards doing stuff on YouTube, just because this channel's already so small in the grand scheme of things that it doesn't really feel fair to spread myself even thinner. Every extra site that I have to manage is more work on me when I already do so much beyond videos. Having pretty much just all the time for those hobbies relegated to free time, with a 40-hour job taking up the majority of my life. You know, the whole 40-hour week, 9 to 5 sort of ordeal. And honestly, in the grand scheme of things in this society, I got it good. I want to do my best to make sure I never take that for granted. Even during the lowest of lows. Okay, can I change the topic? We only got one battle left, but this is kind of getting heavy fast. And I already got enough heavy commentary to sort through with the game and chill. It's probably not that bad, but I gotta sort through and really think about what I should cut out and what I should leave in. At least I don't think it's as bad as that one XG video. You know the one that has significantly less views than all the other numbered episodes. That was by design. Because typically I share around every single upload of Pokemon XG, even on Twitter. Heck, sharing Pokemon XG is pretty much the only reason I still have a Twitter. And probably more importantly, the Discord actually hosts Pokemon XG and a lot of the Pokemon Colosseum and XD related mods. I'm not good enough at reading the analytics, no for sure, but I got a feeling that's where a lot of the people stumble upon these videos from. But yeah, even after the editing, cutting out the stuff I felt was too heavy or too personal to upload to the internet, I kind of was still wanting to play low with that one. It didn't seem important. No plot-related events happened to it. It was mostly just a montage of City of Dark Isle battles. So between that and all the topics, I kind of felt, it's okay if people miss this one. I'd rather people miss it rather than finding it out of the context of me and my channel as a whole. It's a weird boat, but it's kind of something that I have the luxury of doing because YouTube's not my job. And the more I think about it, the more I think I don't think I'd be cut out to be a full-time YouTuber anyways. I am very introverted, and it seems that the more time that passed since 2020, the worse that it gets. I think that's enough to say without getting too deep. Gee, so much for changing the topic. I kinda wish I remember what the next big thing that will be going into the public domain. All I can recall is that it'll be a few years. But, I mean, I'm willing to listen to people talk about their favorite public domain related things. One thing that I think I thought about since the last public domain talk was that there's actually a lot more in the public domain that's commonly being used than I realized. It's just that I'm so used to it being used as public domain that I don't even realize that at one point in time it was public domain before someone like Disney or someone smaller kind of turned it into its own thing, or their own thing. And I guess that's just part of the beauty of art, just how like it can be interpreted in different ways. Geez, if I had more time, I could dive into how fan interpretation of Undertale fits into this whole equation, cause man, that's a beautiful expression of art. We'll call it expression of art. Cause there's stuff like Undertale Yellow, and then there's stuff like Supersonic Ultra Instinct Sans. You got the whole spectrum. At the end of the day, I can't complain about 99% of it. What I'm trying to get at is that fan creation is art. Art's all about expressing yourself, and I can't complain about people finding ways to express themselves, especially when it doesn't harm others. Heck, in a lot of sense, a lot of my exposure to media is from fan expression of said media, especially if we expand the definition to include things like reviews. Cause I'll be honest with y'all, I haven't really gotten into TV since the cable era. I have yet to find a good enough excuse to invest in a subscription service of passive media, mostly because I spend so much time working on stuff like this, my game design, and when I do take time for myself, a lot of it is either playing video games or catching up on the YouTube videos that I want to watch. Alright, I guess that's as good of a segue as any to end off the final... why am I mixing up again? Relgam. The final Relgam Colosseum set of battles. Took long enough. and there's probably some Shadow Pokemon that I'll miss along the way. So there's a good chance this won't be the last time we get to see Relgam Tower in Colosseum battle form. But that was the last set of original battles that we'll see. Heck, since this video was so short, why don't I just show ya? I got the spare footage of the first set of battles again lying around, so you can see for yourself. In fact, why don't we just go through the entirety of this first battle, assuming it doesn't take too long. Because I know a couple of these were kind of cut off by Mirror B stealing the spotlight. So even though things definitely loop back beyond this point, assuming that this was the battle that Mirror B got in the way of, you might see something new regardless. But I can assure you, I went through this entire Colosseum, and it was a repeat. So I feel safe to say that we've covered everything of note within Relgam Tower. And as much as I love to leave this whole battle in for you all, and chat some more and catch up, go over some fun public domain and fandom interpretations of media, I kind of feel my voice getting a little rough already, so maybe it's a good sign for me to stop. Thank you all for tuning in for this one-off, off-topic Pokemon XG episode. I think I'll even throw this in one of the few weeks this month that I don't have a second Pokemon XG video. That way you won't be missing out on any extra videos. This will just be bonus. Why am I hesitant to say bonus content? It'll just be a little bonus on top of everything else I was able to get together for this month. Hold on, let me buy myself a little more time, because I want to see myself obliterate at least one more Pokemon with Woodhammer. I think this was right around the time frame where I first learned the move, because yeah, there'll be a little bit of discrepancy between this video and whatever the last video you're seeing is. That's how long it took for me to find the right moment to record voiceover for this video. And I just love this combo of Woodhammer, Poison Heal, Spore. This Breloom is just amazing in this game in general, and I want to enjoy every last moment I possibly can with it. I won't even bore you all with sitting through all of it in normal speed. Alright, I think I got everything out of my system now. Again, thank you all for tuning in for this video of Pokemon XG, and I hope to see you all next time. Take care.